largely knowledge-based deal flow coming. Knowledge-based entrepreneurial ventures coming. Interestingly, we are now seeing manufacturing, we're seeing education, healthcare, clean tech, media, hospitality, hotels, agriculture, food processing, IT of course, intellectual property, cloud-based, everything coming in. That's what's making it more and more interesting, because what we learn from one sector, we try and sort of take it to the next and cross-pollinate. And when you look at our network and the investors that come in, we bring in the domain expertise as required. So we've sort of reached out beyond the network to help the entrepreneur further. Our very investment portfolio, if you see, though the names are there, let me just touch upon a few things. You have Orthogen, for instance, which is education. We have Vianova, which is education. We have PR agency, we have an investment bank, we have Killa, which is a hospitality, a hotel that is being built. We have robotics, we have mobile, we have CRO, we have an LPO, we have something which we are closing in a software technology product we just closed. We are going into e-filing, we are going into e-procurement. So our investment portfolio tells you the kind of sectors that we are looking at. We function across 4 cities now, Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore. We have monthly meetings, investors come in all the time. We have weekly meetings where entrepreneurs pitch, and it's just tremendous activity that keeps going. We've created a lot of partnerships, more so that whichever entrepreneurs come, we can help them. Irrespective of whether we can invest in them, all our partnerships we leverage for them to get further help, for them to get further mentoring, get domain expertise, research, improve their plans, pilot it, prototype it, whatever else is required, and come back to us. That's not an issue at all. So this is a question that comes to me very often, but I'm going to skip this because I think we have a timeline and I don't want to overshoot it. But I want to touch the last. I'm leaving this deck here if anybody wants it. I just want to focus on this, because when you look at the exit option, how are you creating your venture and what do you want out of it? If you can answer that one question, then we see the operations, the sales, the build-up of the organization happening much more easily. What is it that you want? You want to create money for yourself? You need to decide that. You can have a lifestyle business, you can have a business that scales up and you can exit after a while. But remember that for this class of investors, they invest in equity, they're taking a risk, they're professional investors, they're not there to stay with you forever. They want to come in, invest in good high potential companies and large scalable ventures, and they have 3 questions that you need to answer. How will I exit? Am I going to go through an IPO? Am I going to get acquired? Is my company going to get next level VC funding? How are you going to provide exit for his investment? That is one question. Second is, what is that period that I can make money? Is it going to be 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, 3 years, what? From any investor, all of us invest in different asset classes, and I think we do ask this question, that when am I going to see the return? When am I going to see an exit? When should I exit from any? Well, this class of investors also look at that. And the third thing they ask, what is going to be my return? Is it going to be 5x, 10x, 15x, what? And because it's a high-risk investment class, and because they put in the effort to help, they do look at a high return. So they are looking at much higher returns than the market gives them, because they already have other assets in their portfolio which gives them market returns. But this asset class, which is the highest risk, has to give them far higher returns than the market class. And if this is where you start thinking, then the rest of the previous slides that are there in my presentation, which I have not presented, will probably help you understand what do angel investors look for. So just to give you, finally, is a little bit of skin in the game. How much money have you put in? How much effort have you put in? What are your stakes? That's the question that comes in. We get a question on valuation, so you're saying, High valuation in an early stage can be fatal because the VC or the next round investor may not come in at that valuation, may want much lower, which will kill you, which will kill your equity structure, and really increase the size of the pie than having the share of the pie. So having 10% or 90% rather of 100 rupees is 90 rupees, but having 70% of 1000 rupees is 700 rupees. So that is another perspective that we try giving entrepreneurs when they come to us. And at the end of the day, what we tell everybody, and we don't tire saying this, ideas are a dime a dozen, especially when we talk to startups, it's the execution. How you play out the venture, how you grow it, how you build a team, how you sell, how you deliver, how you collect, how do you create a competitive differentiator. And that's where I think. Thank you for your time.